And we are into game number 2 of TZP versus MIM. And game 1, of course, going to MIM as TZP got upset a little bit. And man, they're busting through this picking stage. So we have a 1-0 lead for the current Hellborn team, and we'll see if TZP can come back in game 2 and avoid elimination in the round of 32 here for the Ultimate Series Solstice. Bans are out Wretched Hag and Engineer getting taken out by Gnal, as he does not want to have to deal with that support Engie or the very versatile Hag. Warbeast and Parasite removed by the Hellborn side, as they played the Warbeast last game to pretty solid effect, and apparently not feeling like they want to deal with that jungler, as both teams do pick up a jungler first. Tempest and then the Pesty selections here for TZP. Both strong heroes, I think. And Pesty a little more versatile than Tempest. Tempest can be laned, but just don't. So he will be running the jungle. Hopefully we'll see Pesty mid. That's, I think, his best situation is when he's running that middle lane, but could be run as a short laner as well. We'll see. No doubt strong jump potential, strong gank here so far from Legion, as well as some pretty solid team fight. They're lacking a bit of damage so far, but hopefully they'll be able to address that situation, as Pesty brings a fair bit of damage and Tempest not so much. But perhaps some more heroes here for right-click or magical damage will provide some stuff. So if that Tempest ultimate locks some people down, they will be able to do it. And Moon Queen will definitely fit that bill. So damage addressed. Team fight very strong now here for the Legion, as well as the push. And gank potential still quite solid. Not as much burst damage as the Hellborn have over here, but the lockdown is effective, the late game is there, and the team fight is there, so is the push. So strong picks so far for the Legion side. Work well together, lots of stuns, as they should, they're looking pretty good so far. Hellborn, Ophelia, and Bubbles, a little more single target here, of course, and a little more initiation potential, I think. Well, Pesty and Tempest, maybe the Legion have that as well, but Bubbles, no stranger to strong initiation, and of course 2 strong ways to cancel the Tempest ultimate here, so Tempest's going to have some difficulty getting off that ult and having it go for an extremely long period of time. Of course, very often just a few seconds of lockdown is plenty, so doesn't necessarily need to sit there and channel the ultimate for the full 3, 4, 5 seconds or whatever. It's just obviously longer is better, but with the Kelp Field and potentially Skeleton and King Nets from Ophelia, Tempest could have a bit of an issue when it comes to trying to lock down the opposing team inside his ultimate. But we'll see how successful he is. 2 heroes here for the Hellborn side, Jungle, Ophelia. Bubbles has some versatility, of course, typically run in mid or Suicide. I think he's best played in the Suicide role, so we'll see what they go for. Lacking a bit of late game, but the lockdown is definitely there. Devourer will be picked up, as it was played last game by TZP. I believe, yes. Last game was played by TZP, and Moon Queen was, of course, played by MIM, but we'll see how Dev does here. Still lacking damage, I think, a little bit on the Hellborn side. They have stronger initiation now with Devourer, and decent enough team fight. The push is good, but not as good as Legion's, I would say. Ophelia is a strong pusher, but between Tempest and Moon Queen, a little more ability to push there. The anti-push is what's better for Hellborn. So I'm favoring Legion's lineup so far. They're still looking for a support and probably a Suicide. And Hellborn perhaps already has their Suicide, looking for a support just like the Legion are, and more for a short laner, as Moon Queen fulfills that role already for TZP. So we'll see what they ban out here. So far, Kinesis first banned by Gnal, and that's not a surprise. He did very, very well for MIM last game. Lots and lots of burst damage. Extremely difficult to deal with for the then Hellborn team, now Legion team, and TZP. And not really a shock that he gets banned out here. Under normal circumstances, they'd be like, what the hell are they banning Kinesis for? But he was a pretty important part of their win last game, as he just absolutely wrecked people on the opposing team, especially that Torture and Glacius, who were extremely under-leveled, and as a result continuously took a lot of magic damage from that Kinesis and died very, very often as a result. But Legion have finished their second banning stage: Kinesis, Slither, and Rally. So removing Slither, who's a potential short laner here. Rally, I don't really see fitting this team too much. They do lack stuns a little bit, and Rally brings one of those, but so do lots of heroes, so there's no reason really why that Rally in particular should be a bit of an issue. He also brings some team fight with that Seismic Slam, but it's usually not an ability you can get onto more than one person. I think really 2 is a good Seismic Slam, and 3 is like a dream. but it's not really an ability that lends itself to easily being able to hit several heroes. So that ban, not really the best in my opinion. Doesn't make too much sense, but Southern Kinesis certainly very, very solid. Torture, Glacius, and Kraken banned out by the Hellborn team as they take a couple of supports out of the pool, as well as the versatile Kraken, who certainly could be run as a suicide. Instead, it will be the Rhapsody and Grinix picked up, fulfilling that short lane and suicide role. So Legion's lanes are pretty obvious. Moon Queen solo short, Rhapsody, Pesty mid, Grinix suicide, and I do like them quite a bit. MQ is a hero that often gets babysat, and I think in this situation that wouldn't be the worst thing to do, especially if we're going to see a Chrono suicide, which I don't think is going to be the case, but it's possible. If it is a Bubbles versus Moon Queen, which I suspect will be the case in that bottom lane, then that's going to be very positive for Moon Queen. So she should not be a babysitter, and therefore setting Rhapsody mid with Pesty creates a pretty damn strong mid-kill lane, especially against this Devourer. Because of the dance floor and how it works, it will essentially mitigate all of Devourer's rot damage while doing a lot more damage to him. So if Devourer puts the rot down and dance floor goes out, then Devo's going to take a lot of damage and his rot is effectively going to do nothing. It'll just be auto attacks, and his auto attack doesn't hit that hard. So I like the Rhapsody pick, not just because of where it is. Actually, they're sending Pesty? I think he's just exploring, and he's got to be going middle, as Ringus is definitely going suicide. So I really hope they send that dual lane mid. If they don't, I think it's going to be up against a Dev Nymph mid lane, which is very powerful because Nymph, of course, giving lots of mana to that Devourer allows him to hook repeatedly. The stun on top of the rot does a lot of damage, and of course the heal bomb from the pod as well does quite a bit. So Dev Nymph actually an extremely powerful lane, not only in the laning phase, but also as the game progresses. With the port, Dev ganks much easier. And up top, Granix trying to put a ward down, will not do so as Nymph4 and Chronos are here. So a strong mid lane here, but might get countered very well by that Pestilence and Rhapsody. I assume that's going to be the case, but we'll see. Hellborn lane is pretty obvious as well. Suicide Bubbles already down here. Up top, we've got Chronos, and Nymph is still staying here, so this looks like it might be a babysit Nymph4, and I hope that's not the case, because Chronos should be just fine against Grinix up here. And there's no real reason why Nymph4 should have to babysit this Chronos. He will be completely fine on his own. Grinix should have massive issues killing this Chronos. It is theoretically possible, I suppose, if Chronos misplays, but it's fairly unlikely, I think, that Grinix would kill this Chronos. Meanwhile, Zealstun hitting on both ends, and Grinix, I don't know what you're doing here, buddy. Riftstock finally activated as he's taking all sorts of damage. Will be forced to pop his health pot. I think he's going to try to reward this pull, but we'll see. Off to the side here now. I don't know what he's doing. So far shaping up like a pesty Dev mid. And of course the other consideration is Dev's not going to have a great time doing this just because the Impel Stun will basically prevent him from chasing Pesty down, and the flight as well. So I think in a 1v1 situation, Pesty wins this matchup. Dev's just not really going to ever be able to kill him, and Pesty is going to get free farm. He should be able to play this relatively aggressively. And it looks like he is doing so far. Rot, of course, coming out. But at early levels, if you take auto attack damage with Rot on, then you're going to die real fast. So it is a Rhapsody support from Moon Queen bottom, as Bubbles is getting zoned out very effectively. But like I said earlier, I don't think this is necessary. Moon Queen should have a strong farm here anyway. It's possible that Rhapsody is just here to secure a good early start for Moon Queen so that Bubbles can't come back with like level 6 and burst Moon Queen down, which could certainly be possible. Once Bubbles hits 6, she does quite a lot of magic damage, and with the silence stopping the Moon Queen ultimate, might be able to kill Moon Queen before she's able to turn it around. So the decision here to lane Rhapsody down here initially, to zone Bubbles a little bit, not really a bad one. I just hope it doesn't continue, because quite soon it won't be necessary, as Moon Queen will just have a farm and level advantage to the extent that Bubbles won't be able to do much of anything to her. And in that situation, Rhapsody in mid with Pesty can not only help keep him alive, but also get lots of kills. Pesty and Rhapsody is a fantastic lane. The staccato stuns, the dance floor, everything stacks well with each other, and it is very dangerous if you're trying to go up against it. Staccato Stun's there once again, looking for a Moonbeam as well, so Bubbles will take a bunch of damage and back the hell on out of there. Has a health bot, will use it. And now he's down to just one Tango, so he's a little low on mana, on health regen here. Obviously, Moon Queen totally fine with 3 Tree Eaters still and full health. Rhapsody with the mana pot active will go out and look for some more harassment out of this Bubbles. Continues the auto attacks and the dance floor. Of course, that means Bubbles needs to leave because you can't just sit there. There have been many situations playing Rhapsody where you just put the dance floor down and you man up, man. And it's amazing how fast people die and how little damage they do to you, especially early on when you have that dance floor active. Staccato Stun's there helping out a little bit. Moonbeam is available, will not be in range. So Moon Queen now, obviously, with a very strong start, as Bubbles is completely out of regen. Bot rune is already taken, as up top we have a refreshment. Devourer grabbing that in his bottle, as Pesty also has a bottle, and he has used it, so I don't know what the 2-minute rune was, but it is currently gone. Grinix up top here is level 3. So doing fairly well in terms of levels. Kronos is level 4 and level 5, so not the greatest Rift Stock hit there. Actually, he gets hit by it, but not by the stun, and now he's going to try to get the hell out of here. We'll take some damage from Ophelia, but I don't think it's going to be a kill. And Grinix will now leave, looking for the 4-minute rune up top. Let's see what spawns. Bubbles now trying to guard at bottom a little bit. So is Tempest. Bubbles level 2, Tempest level 5. Refreshment rune instead picked up, and Bubbles going to shell surf away up top. It is a haste. Will be guarded by Grinix, and here comes Pesty to grab it. But Dev is there as well. Who's going to make it? It's going to be Pesty, because he's going to grab the stun and the flight there. There's the flight and the grab of the haste rune, and now Dev could be in a little bit of trouble, because Pesty has the level advantage in the haste rune now. Up top, meanwhile, Swiddle Melon will get picked off as he gets jumped on, plus the dust, so that Rift Stock not very helpful. Nice seal stun, and that will finish off Mr. Grinix. So Kronos obviously doing very well up here with the Nymphora babysit, not a surprise. Resources relatively even at this point, but we'll see how that progresses. I think both teams have strong late game with Kronos on one side and Moon Queen on the other. The late game is going to depend a lot on Kronos getting his ultimate onto Moon Queen and killing her before her team can support her and before she can, get through it while living. Like if she survives the Chrono Field, then there's a very good chance she can turn it around and kill Kronos. But if within those 5 seconds or so he manages to kill her, then that could be a pretty serious problem for this Legion team. And Rhapsody actually in that manner is going to be extremely helpful, because Kronos will have to get a strong ultimate to prevent Rhapsody's ult from stopping all the damage that he's putting out. Pause coming out, but we don't care, because this is a replay cast. Up top, Grinix going to get dusted once again. Will not take the Zeal Stone as Nymph. So look to cast it. Time Leap in and the Chrono Field, so they're going to have lots. Actually, Nymph gets caught by that Chrono Field as well. Zeal Stun hits both ends. He is still visible and still dusted, but Hasted Pesty coming in, looking for a jump. Probably won't find one. 6-minute rune spawns top. It is Illusions. Meanwhile, Nymph getting caught. Grinix now in a lot of trouble. Activates the Rift Stock once again. Hasted Pesty will get the kill on this Nymphora, and Grinix will manage to run away. Now perhaps looking for another kill onto this Kronos. I don't think it's going to happen. He's got Time Leap up soon, and he'll just be able to walk away and be fine. Illusion Rune's still top. Ophelia going to go grab it, I think. No, in fact, just going to farm the woods continuously. As neither jungler has been particularly active here. Tempest not really coming to this lane at all, and Ophelia mostly staying to herself, as Rhapsody has transitioned middle, so that's a good rotation there. Bubbles is still level 4, and Moon Queen's already 6, so no doubt Moon Queen with a very strong start in the early, and should be able to survive any burst that Bubbles puts out at this point. The only way that she's going to die is if Bubbles brings some friends, which is probably maybe not necessary, but recommended at this point, because MQ is at 330 gold per minute, and she is not actually beating this Kronos. Is at 380. But Addressing MQ early is always a good idea. This is her vulnerable point, because in about 15 minutes she won't be vulnerable anymore. Up top, Kronos putting some stuff onto Grinix and will get the last hit, but dies to the tower in the meantime. So not a good trade there. And not only does he lose the farming time, but that's just not a good gold trade either. So this Moon Queen on bot sitting at 47 and 29, no question dominating her lane. Bubbles is just 1 and 1. Over here we have Rhapsody Fake. Top tower does fall, thanks to Nymphora. And in middle, hook in on the Pesty, but immediate stun and the bugs. Rhapsody is looking for something. Bubbles is off to the side though. Puts the Shell Surf down. Tempest is here as well. Has the ultimate. Perhaps looking to put it down. There goes 2. Onto just Ophelia. Actually, Devour's off to the side. Not getting caught in it, I don't believe. Ultimate from both Oath and Dev immediately canceled. Rhapsody misses Bubbles was the Shell Surf onto Rhapsody. A couple more auto attacks and up. Hook back onto Pesty. He's going to put the stun out, and it will die to Chronos time leap. Dev going to be okay. Rhapsody just barely missing everything. So that will be ultimately, after all of that rotation, the entire team for both sides coming to this mid lane. Nice ultimate from Moon Queen, and that turns into a 1-for-1 Pesty for Bubbles, which is favoring the Hellborn team at this point, I think. Pesty at 270 gold per minute, Bubbles at just 85 now. Hook in will hit the creep and not Mr. Grinix. Once again, there's the mana for Dev, so he can keep throwing those hooks out. Hook in the miss on Grinix. So 3-3 hero kills here. Very, very even game so far. Zealstun will hit Grinix on both ends. On top of the dust, so now he's in a lot of trouble. He puts the Shadow 7 wrist stock off, but it's not going to help. The Chrono Field off there will help finish the kill, and Swiddlemelon will fall for the 3rd time now, as Chronos has gotten a couple of kills off now. 3 kills off of that, and doing very well in the GPM chart as a result of 400 gold per minute on the bot. Meanwhile, Pesty will help pick off Bubbles, initiated by Moon Queen, but Pesty finishes the kill, has the Steam Boots now. MQ has the Whispering Helm on top of her own Steam Boots, presumably going for the Firebrand next. And probably wants a Shrunken Head in this situation. Both Dev and Bubbles doing plenty of magical damage, and for and Ophelia potential lockdown heroes as well. I would think that the Helm, Firebrand, Shrunken is probably the way to go here. It's a pretty standard build, but it is very effective. Up top, Kronos and Nymph looking for something possibly. Timely Bear onto Grinix does get the Riftstock off, and he will be okay. Forcing a port also here from Pesty, so we'll be alright. Neither side really doing the transition I had hoped for into middle lane, as Rhapsody sort of came mid for a bit, but didn't really turn that into too much. Ophelia going to finally start pushing us. Now we're 11 minutes in the game. She's level 8, Tempest is level 9, and neither of them have really started pushing too much. Dev taking the bugs here. And we can continue to solo farm bot. Missing a CS there. Ophelia port back onto Devourer. So 4-4 here, a little less active than the last game, but solid plays on both sides. Pesty now perhaps in some trouble as Ophelia's looking for the gank, won't find it. Meanwhile up top, Grinix dies again to the combo of Kronos and Nymphora. Dust consistently being a problem for him. As with 4 deaths now, he's providing some feed here. This Hellborn side, already up 1 game to nothing, and they'll certainly take it. But it's not really turning into a resource advantage for them. Hellborn finally kill a tower in middle as Ophelia is coming out to push. Triple stacked Ancients being taken here by Moon Queen. Dance Floor certainly helping, as perhaps he's actually getting him. Whispering Helm there is enough to help keep MQ alive, but not by that much. Up top, things perhaps being addressed, but Ward of Sight's both here to let the Hellborn know who's coming over. And now they're backing off. Hook on Moon Queen gonna miss. Grinix there looking for a jump onto Nymph. Just not gonna get it as the Zeal Sun hits, and there's a Chrono Field on top of the Ophelia ult. And now Grinix gonna be in a little bit of trouble, probably won't die here. Has a little too much health. Meanwhile, Tempest coming in from the side has Astrolabe and Ring of Sorcery, so he's clearly gone for the utility build early on. As the Hellborn Ward is countered by Rhapsody. Good awareness there. They saw us coming, so they probably have a ward. Putting the Dance Floor down, trying to get some more. Rhapsody's getting all these Ancient kills. She's literally gotten 3 of them so far. And just that wave. Should have 4th one earlier. So, perhaps not the intention there, but Rhapsody getting over 100 gold per minute now. Bubbles off to the side. And MQ's missing a lot of CS here. Dev and Bubbles are here, perhaps looking for a jump onto MQ. She will retreat into her own woods, so she'll be safe for now. Say gonna go farm these Wild Hunters. And the Hellborn side will back off, not feeling like they have a gank opportunity. Dev digging himself into the trees. Up top, meanwhile, Grinix opening up here. Skeleton King net on Pesty. It'll prevent stuns from coming out, and Ophelia should be okay. Hook onto Pesty is successful, but takes the Impale immediately. Time Leap there, trying to lock him down for Dev. Lex going out there, but Flight is active now, and he's going to be totally fine. As the stun slow wears off. So nice hook, but too strong on the reaction there from Pesty. Hitting the stun before the Dev ult could come out, and therefore saving his life. Grinix going to avoid the hook there. Not even take any rot damage, just Dev takes a tower hit as well. Regen rune active on Devourer here. So that's nice. Perhaps looking for a hook as well. It's still active. Moon Queen coming over here will get the kill onto Nymph as she activates the ultimate. It's like, alright, might as well just take this. The rest of the Hellborn team now going to look to back up a little bit. As the Legion are trying to get something. Flight is active on Pestilence. He's got bugs on Devourer. There's the Moonbeam, and now he's in a lot of trouble. Impale and Shadow Step down. Despite the newest blessing, Dev will fall here pretty easily. Chronos getting chased as well. Has a Time Leap. Going to get the hell on out of there. Bubbles coming in with a port. Ophelia now with the 3 Skeleton Kings running off to the side. Moon Queen has the range for a Moonbeam, but looking for vision. Tempest putting the Meteor down, will chop the trees. There's a Moonbeam on Chronos with the bugs. Hellfield goes on to 3, in fact. Impale Stun hits nothing. Chronofield hits a bunch. Nice Rhapsody ultimate. Won't save Pestilence, but the ultimate coming out from Tempest, and that's going to be able to lock down this Chronos. So, 3 dead for the side of Hellborn at this point, as Nymphora is coming back in, but there goes Bubbles too, dropping to too much damage from MQ. Tempest and Moon Queen now don't want to take this much tower damage. They get out of there. Ophelia pursuing the skeletons off to the side. Nymphora getting chased down, and she is getting flanked a little bit here. Should drop. There's the Zeal stun, but I don't know why she popped the Lexelion. It just helped her die, but actually that's why, because they got a counter kill onto Grinix. So, 1 for 1 there, as to finish the fight, as actually it went very well for Legion. They took 4 for 2, so Ophelia the only survivor, and getting that Kronos down there is very helpful. Now he's well below Moon Queen at 412 gold per minute. Kronos is at 350. And the Legion side in general taking a gold lead at 2,500 and a 6k experience lead. Once again, not showing too much push. Hellborn have taken down 2 towers at this point. Legion have taken down 0. Top tower is really low, not quite deniable, but low. Mid tower is actually deniable, and it will be destroyed by Devourer here. And bot tower is really low as well, so... Despite the fact that they have some pretty solid push between Tempest and Moon Queen, and Rhapsody for that matter, not too much of it actually happening. And I'd like to see a little more aggression on that front, trying to take map control away from the Hellborn Tide, because... You know, they can certainly use that against this Kronos, trying to make his farm a little more dangerous, picking him off a little more often. And generally allowing Moon Queen to have a bigger impact in the game by reducing Kronos' potential. Or at least his ability to reach his potential. Regardless, MQ will continue doing the stacked Ancients here. Portal Key picked up onto Pesty at 18 minutes, so it's a little late, as he just has 300 gold per minute. But the rest of his team doing fine. Firebrand is the second item on MQ now with 2,100 gold saved up. I suspect they'll be Destructed Head. Bubble's trying to get away from this, and Tempest gets the Kelp Field on him, and now he's in some trouble. Puts the Glacial Blasts there, but the Chrono Field coming out, and a Zeal Stun. This is going to be death on Tempest and Pesty, as the entire Hellborn team is here with an import. We're going to turn this into a bot tower push, so nice response there. As they jump Bubbles, but get themselves turned on. Pesty's showing off his brand new Portal Key and not actually doing too well with it as a result. Just look at how fast those towers drop. Ophelia, man. Keep pushing. Nope. Dev gonna get sent back. Not really sure why. I think they have enough time to take a secondary tower here. But instead they will choose to leave, so... I mean, they had 10 full seconds on both Tempest and Pestilence. Tempest does not have a Portal Key, Pesty does, but I don't think the Legion response was really there. Up top, Grinix and Rhapsody perhaps looking for a pick on this Devourer. Here's the Rift Stock, and not going to be able to Shadow Step him though, as there's that. He will, but that's not going to be enough. Jump from Pesty, actually. There's your Filter as well. It's not going to save him. Staccato Sun's a little too much, so I didn't even realize Pesty was coming up here. But that's going to be a kill for the Legion, and they will get this tower as well once the glyph wears off. No, maybe they won't. They see the entire Hellborn team running up here, I think, between this... no, that's a Word of Rev, so I don't understand why they're leaving. Word of Sight here as well. It's an easy deny for Hellborn. Not sure what the plan was there from TZP. They still take a resource advantage once again, as the pick and the tower kill give them some gold and experience. But could have gotten plenty more if they had just stayed for another half a second, killed that tower. They wouldn't have died. Regardless, MQ continuing to MQ, and she is up to 460 gold per minute now as she's just cleaning out the jungle. Has no... Actually, the Legion Ancients are warded. Nope, is that a Word of Rev? Oh, that's probably not in range then. She has no Whispering Helm creep, so she's not stacking the Ancients herself. It's a bit disappointing. Usually you want to do that in order to maximize your farm, but... Up top, Grinix going to get collapsed on here by the Illusion Bubbles, plus the Chronos off to the side will activate the Yellow Parasite, and notice he's there. Chronofield will miss as the Grinix Ultimate comes out, and now he's looking for something. Kelfield's going to lock him down, but the Sport comes from Legion, and he's going to run away. MQ activating some stuff, trying to get this Ophelia, and Swiddlemuddles actually will pick off Bubbles, and with the jump in from Pesty, so Chronos now in some trouble. As he's getting locked down, he time leaps away, but he's going to get pursued by the Energizer and the Flight active from Pesty. Riftstock is there as well, and then for a Zeal Stun is going to hit both, plus the port back there from Ophelia, so Kronos should be fine. Ends up being just the one pick for Legion, but strong response to the jump from on Grinix. Pause once again. Once again, we don't care. On bot, Dev is looking to push towers, but Moon Queen is there. And he will just port away. To middle, where we have 4 grouped up. Perhaps once again looking for a jump on this Grinix. So Devour not doing so hot here. 22 minutes in. Ghost Marcher's bottle and the makings of a Shaman's headdress, but he will finish that now as he has 900 gold, and that's not super tanky quite yet. He's at 1385 health with some decent magic armor now, but not the biggest deal in the world, especially because there is quite a lot of physical damage on the Legion side. Pesty, Grinix, and Moon Queen all providing a lot of that. So his Cadaver armor won't be quite as effective as it might otherwise be. Shieldbreaker is up on Kronos on top of the Elder Parasite Steam Boots, so he's going to be doing a lot of physical damage, and clearly having the same thought I did earlier is his job in this game is basically going to be to jump Moon Queen and kill her. And the faster he can do that, the better. Both Shieldbreaker and Elder Parasite will help with that job. MQ just picked up a Soul's Bulwark, I think. Yeah. He's trying to buy a Soul's Bulwark. I don't know why. Seems like that'd be a Pestilence item. Maybe even Grinix over a Moon Queen item, as she should want the Shrunken Head. Gonna take down this bot tower pretty easily. Off to the side, Tempest looking for somebody. Has no Portal Key, of course. Bladed Greaves picked up on top of his Astrolite, Bling of Sorcery, and Mystic Vestments. Off to the side, Pesty will get a double jump, and Bubbles is dying so fast. Lex telling us there, and a Chrono Field coming out will kill Pesty real fast, as well as the Tempest before he can even ult. Off to the side, trying to get a hook onto MQ, won't do it. The Kelp Field's there, and the ultimate from Devour, and now Moon Queen's so dead. So dead. All kinds of dead. So 3 kills there for Hellborn, and that's going to result in a bot push, I should hope. Pesty actually buys back. In middle, Grinix is pushing out. But ultimate picked up by Nymphora. They will look for a pick onto this Grinix as she takes Dev with her, but now Grinix is going to run away. So they won't get it. That's a bit disappointing, because they could have had a secondary tower on bot, I think. Instead, they're going to go for a Kongor. I don't mind that decision at all. This is going to be a very, very quick Kongor kill with Moon Queen dead for another 20 seconds. I don't think it's possible for Legion to stop this, even with Tempest back. Bubbles going to port to the top tower, stop this push. And Kongor will fall.
Kongor has been slain.
Token up on Kronos now, going to be a lot harder to kill. And he will be doing quite a lot of damage as well, so we'll see how Legion try to respond to this. Up top, Grinix and then Papillon tries to run away, just avoids the hook. Over here on bot, we've got most of the Hellborn team in their own woods or in the bot lane. And it's just Grinix is hanging out in middle where pretty much all the Hellborn team is. So perhaps looking for an engagement here. Grinix going to jump onto Kronos, but not nearly enough damage, of course, to do anything. And he has a token anywhere. Jump on to a bunch there by Pesty. Hook coming in onto Moon Queen as she gets locked down by the Skeleton Kings and gets taken out. This is going to be an easy kill onto Moon Queen. Off to the side, Grinix trying to do something with Kronos here, but with the Ruler's Blessing and the token, it's not going to make enough of a difference. Danceport goes down, feeding Frenzy onto Tempest, so he's going to get stopped. Perhaps the ultimate saving him, but it's not going to be a bit of difference. Grinix drives in the background, Tempest getting chased. Cicada Sun's onto Dev, but this is going to be a cleanup for the Hellborn as the hook onto Tempest helps. Glacial Blaster there as well, but I don't think it's going to be resulting in him living. Rhapsody being chased down by Bubbles and Ophelia off to the side as A lot of heroes are jumping this Tempest, and Kronos has a time lead. There it is. We'll stop him. There's the Rod as well, and that's going to be a dead Tempest.
Serial killer.
So Hellborn picking off 3 heroes on the Legion side, including Tempest and Moon Queen, shutting down really a lot of their late game potential there. MQ still at 440 gold per minute, as that's just what MQ does, but Kronos is right up there with her. And they're clearly showing that they can kill this MQ before she does anything, and that's got to be concerning for the Legion team. Then again, what happens when they don't do that is a question.
I'll be ahead of schedule with this.
Oh, there's Ancients, and Devo is serving dinner continuously. So another one fight here for Hellborn, and they take a 5k gold lead and a 6k experience lead, turning this game around fairly effectively, actually. We'll see if they can keep that up. They're sort of going to have to, I think, with the presence of this Moon Queen here. They're just always going to be concerned about how much late game they have, even with Kronos and all the team support that is around him. I just think there's never a situation where they're like, yeah, we got this. Tempest Moon Queen just doesn't let you have that. So Ophelia will be farming here in the woods, but nonetheless, there is certainly an advantage here. Kronos actually going to pick off this Tempest once again as he jumps in on top of Bubbles and the Shell Surf. And of course, a couple auto attacks will be there to kill him. Not a problem anymore to pick off any of these really int heroes. Even Grinix, as long as he can't invis. Dust goes out, and that will spot him. Plus the Bound Eye is there. Now he's totally screwed. Keltfield and Ultimate from Dev will finish him off. Hook gonna miss Pesty and MQ, but Hellborn gonna take this opportunity to push in middle lane. Moon Queen heading there with all of her little skeleton buddies. And this should be a pretty easy dead mid tower. Glyph going out, but Kronos is just like, fine, I want to attack the tower, I'll kill the creep wave. I never understand why people pop a Glyph when there's creeps there. It's just like, okay, then I'll clean this up instead. So mid tower falling there, and it looks like Hellborn should probably back off here at this point, perhaps taking their secondary tower, but they're going to go into the base. Portal key and Hook totally missing. Not sure what he was going for there, just a blind hook, I guess, but not even close to successful. Ophelia's over here in some trouble. Pesty's there, looking for the jump, gets netted. Stops the Skeleton King, but there's the Moonbeam and the Portal Key. Zealstun actually hits him, and they get Empath, or Nymph out the hell out of there, and yeah, sorry Ophelia, a little too greedy. Skeleton Kings will get cleaned up. And they're looking for more chase here on Legion's side, but they're going the wrong way. Perhaps going to grab Bubbles. Grinix really wants something here, but not going to find it. There's the jump onto Bubbles, as he's just going to get locked down here and killed. He's so squishy. Has Vestments and 872 health. That's nothing. So Legion getting a couple of kills of their own and looking like they want to turn this into a bot push. And with their push, they should be able to take this tower down relatively fast. And they're certainly doing so. Dance floor going down as well. MQ now going to port top. And Kronos will run the hell away. And it's really just, it's impressive. It's the two of them way up there and the rest of their team's doing okay and not great. So this is going to be a true hard carry versus hard carry game, it feels like, with one of these teams eventually coming out on top. But relatively even match, both in Game 1 and Game 2. Tempest farming the woods out here as there's a jump in middle looking to get Pesty killed. Chronofield goes on top of him, but he gets actually hooked out of it. And he's still going to die, but that was a really weird decision there. Keltfield on the Moon Queen will pop the Geometer's Bane, but takes the Keltfield Sun in the meantime. Ultimate tick going out from MQ, and now Kronos is in some trouble. Tempest Elemental will help finish him off, but he has the token, so he's coming right back. Takes the Glacial Blast, and now they're going to turn this onto Tempest for some reason, although he's pretty much done. He doesn't care anymore if he dies. Rhapsody Ultimate can save a bunch of damage, so like, alright, we'll kill you. There goes Rap. looking for the hook here. Going to try to grab somebody. Tempest is successfully going to be able to pour it out. Grenix activating the Riftstock will be able to get away. So Hellborn getting a couple of kills there, but not too valuable, and losing the token in the process. It was probably pretty close to expiring, so I don't think they're that concerned about it, but Kronos getting jumped there, and dies relatively fast if he gets locked down, of course. As it's really both sides. Like, if Tempest can lock down this Kronos, then MQ can destroy him. And if Kronos can lock down MQ, then he will destroy her. Assuming, of course, that Deb doesn't hook her out of the chrono field and almost make her live as a result. So I don't know what the hell that hook was from Deb, but it was bad. And it nearly cost him a team fight. It might have cost him the token. I don't know how things would have gone if he hadn't done that, but it's possible. Illusion's up top when you grab by Grenix here. Or somebody else. Who knows? Maybe Moon Queen. Moon Queen would make more sense. But she's not heading over. Nobody's still in possession of a bottle here on Legion, as I don't get that. Like, if you're Pesty, just give your bottle to Rhapsody. Off to the side, Grenix going to look to lock down Bubbles, not going to be successful as he runs away. But Pesty now has to jump onto Ophelia, and she's totally screwed. Zealstone just hits him. Trying to clean up these creeps here. Or maybe turn it on to Oaf, and now, or sorry, Nymph, and now Nymph's in a lot of trouble. Shadow Step's going to help finish her off. 2 for nothing there. Chrono's going to drop a Chrono Field onto 2. Bubbles almost walking into it, and they're going to try to kill this Moon Queen here, but the kill field goes off, and she's going to activate the Shrunken Head. On the side, Grenix, or Dead getting locked down, trying to kill somebody. Moon Queen's taking a bunch of damage. Will finish off Chronos, as with the turnaround ultimate, and there goes Dead as well. Bubbles now in some trouble. He's going to try to walk out of here, but it's not going to happen. And the Legion cleans up, getting a genocide on the Hellborn team. They didn't have a Tempest ultimate. They still win, as Kronos just not able to kill Moon Queen in the duration of the Chrono Field, and that's a problem. Buyback here on Dev, so they might look to defend this a little bit, but this should still be a base tower and very possibly a Rax kill because Kronos is dead for 50 seconds. No buyback on anybody else. And this will, with the dance floor and minions, turn into a pretty solid and easy base push. Oaf and Nymphora back in about 5 seconds, but I don't think either of them are going to do too much. Especially with the Pesty Portal Key, they can just kill Nymphora, really, or Ophelia, again, really quickly. And then with the bounces from Moon Queen, of course. Hook and not going to hit, and there goes a Rax. Grenix now in the side, looking for something. Moon Queen ultimate back up, going to try to lock down this Ophelia, and they will kill her. I told you! Grenix going to pour it out, no stopping it. Nymph now, or sorry, Moon Queen trying to avoid the hook, drops the Geometer's Mains Illusions, and will be okay as a result. Bubbles off to the side, and now they could turn around and kill this Dev. Yeah, they're going to kill him now, because those Geobane Illusions are destroying him. That was pretty funny. And Bubbles here perhaps in some trouble as well, as the entire Legion team is left. I didn't even notice that. I was looking at the mini-map and saw the illusion. Regardless, excellent cleanup here by Legion. They're only 5k gold and experience up, but they now have a mid-Rax, and that's pretty damn important. So firmly in control of this game and demonstrating that it's extremely hard for them to lock this Moon Queen down and actually kill her. She has 1700 health now. She has a Demonic Breastplate, so she's mitigating a lot of physical damage, and that's, you know, probably, I guess, is the reason that she picked up that Breastplate was a shield breaker on Kronos. But on, I'm thinking if Pesty had that Breastplate, it would provide almost the same thing, as meanwhile Bubbles is going to go down, Chronofield gets dropped. So Bubbles getting jumped here, Chronofield going to get put onto 2. Nymphora Zealstone is here as well. And there's the Lex Talion, so there goes Grenix, but now, and Pesty for that matter, but now Moon Queen's here like, yeah, I'm going to help clean up this. Barrier going down, and she just doesn't care. She has the auto attacks, no ultimate, and there's a Tempest ultimate. Will gets not actually stopped. I think the Zealstone missed. And that's going to be a kill onto Kronos and on Nymphora. CC vote from Hellborn, and I can't blame them. So that turned around real fast. It was a really even game, and all of a sudden Legion wins. As that Moon Queen just becomes too powerful, the hero's too good. So game 2 going to TZP here. We are tied at a 1-1 series, and we will move it on to game 3 to determine the series victor.